Hello and welcome to Racing for Wins. This is a podcast by two friends who are fans of F1 racing, but not just for the race itself. As business owners, we also like to see what's going on behind the scenes. We offer a biased, heated, and often irrational sports commentary. Take a listen and share your thoughts in our comments section. My name is Craig Havens, and with me is Jonathan Almanzar.
Hello and welcome back. Jonathan, so we've talked about Alpine, about 18, 20 times now? We talked about Otmar needing to be cut. Rossi said it.
Cut.
Rossi said it. He made it clear that Otmar is in the hot seat. And if things don't change, there will be changes. And he's not having to wait until the end of the season to do that. Cannot hear you clapping, but I get you.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. I'm glad. That guy should have been fired a long time ago.
He shouldn't have been
He should
hired.
never get a job. No.
But
no,
they brought him over. Like, why?
I know. I don't know.
And then that whole mess, and he's like getting hot dogs and walking around very proud.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think we talked about it on one of our earlier podcasts.
Yeah. We don't need to rehash the whole thing. Congratulations. Good job.
Somebody's listening to us. Like when we do the football podcast, someone's starting to listen to us. So yeah. So the race. I get it. It's Miami. I get it. They want younger viewers. They want to spread out and all that stuff. But Fast and the Furious actors, did you see that in the beginning of the thing? They're actors, but they're talking like they're real racers. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, okay, I get it, and I do, but like literally, Vin Diesel at one point says real racers, but
yeah. If you're wanting younger audience, which you said that's why they're doing this, why do you have LL Cool J, will.i.am, and Fast and the Furious? Like,
right.
I don't think Vin Diesel is the.
But Fast and the Furious is on like
LL
23 now. I mean, I think they're coming out with a new one, aren't they?
I don't feel like Vin Diesel and I think Fast and the Furious paid to be there. I don't think that
that's
F1 was like,
possible.
oh, let's get the Fast and Furious, because they had a whole little commercial thing for it and that kind of stuff. But LL Cool J and will.i.am.
Yeah, you're right.
And I don't remember who it was. It probably was Lewis Hamilton that said, it was either him or Fernando Alonso that said, I used to listen to LL Cool J when I was a kid. And I'm like, the two oldest drivers on the grid are like, this is cool. This guy, I listened to him when I was a baby.
Yeah.
I thought that was ridiculous.
Yeah.
I think Miami dropped the ball with who they had on the camera.
Well, they were talking about Miami Vice. I don't think many people in the stands, many of their target audience really knew Miami Vice, but either way.
What I wish I had seen, though, was the drivers. Did you know the drivers did a combine, an NFL combine?
No, really?
Yeah, they put them through the NFL combine, and I think Nico Hülkenberg, I think, is the one that won the combine. Or no, Pierre Gasly. Pierre Gasly won it.
Really?
Yeah.
He's not the guy I would have pictured winning that.
Yeah.
Huh? How'd Yuki do?
Who? Probably pretty close to the end. That was going to be my question. Who do you think would have finished dead last if it was just an overall? They got so many points for how they finished in the bench. And do you think when they had to bench, they had to do with just the bar? Because that's what I'm picturing.
I can't imagine there was a whole lot of weights on there.
So they're doing just the bar. They're running their 40 yards. They're jumping, doing the cones. Who do you think would have come in the bottom group?
I think I would say Nick.
De Vries?
Yeah,
that guy had finished pretty low.
I think he's who I'd pick at that point. I don't think he was much of an athlete. I would have probably put Pierre in there, by the way, which totally would have been wrong, but
I feel like I would for sure put Yuki down there at the bottom of the.
Yeah, Yuki did that whole workout thing where they were doing that. He's like, I hate this part. I don't want to work out. So yeah, I could see him.
Bottas maybe, just because I don't really understand him. And I think Hamilton, I don't think he would do great in it.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
George.
George, yeah. I don't think George would know what to do. What do I do with this?
No. Like, when you throw somebody a football that's never caught,
right?
But they've only played like foot sports before. How funny it looks when they catch it, and when they go to throw it, it looks so ridiculous. That's what it would look like with George. I bet he gets manicured hands all the time. I bet his hands are very manicured.
I hate to say it, but I have a feeling that a few of them have manicured hands. I don't know why. You say that, and now I'm kind of like, I can see a few of them.
They're not going to have grease under their nails, for sure. Like,
no.
They're not getting under the hood.
No.
I could see them getting manicures. And their yards, they always call their yards the garden. Even if they're not English. Even if they're not English, they call it the garden.
All right. I could see that. Well, they have that no mow May now, which I'm currently exercising. I haven't mowed. My wife did. Pretty nice of me, huh?
And don't they have garden time? Don't they take garden
leave? Yeah. That's that time. The garden leave is the time after you leave a company. Like the guy from Ferrari is now on garden leave. He is not allowed to work for another company, but I think it's 90 days. Like, what a horrible program. I want garden leave. Yeah. I really do. I would love garden leave.
I would take it.
Yeah. Yeah. So, all right. So we had the oldest front row since Japan '92. Not the front spectator row. The front row in the race.
I know.
Since Japan of '92. I just thought it was a neat comment, and not so neat is the first 3 Spanish-speaking drivers starting 1, 2, 3 for the first ever time.
Okay.
I know. I thought that was a weird one. I'm like, okay.
Me too. Because
we're trying to find also the first time there was a red car, a green car, and a yellow car. I'm just on that.
First time a Fernando and a
Yes.
Checo. I bet you there's a lot more of those guys that can speak Spanish.
I would think so, but I think they meant first time speaking, like first language, but
their first language. But it really bothered me when they said Spanish speaking. Yeah. Because I'm Spanish speaking.
Right.
But I'm not native. That's not my native tongue.
Right.
And I wish they had clarified that a little bit.
These are just facts, man. I don't make them.
So if Yuki ever gets up there, he could be the first time a Japanese speaking driver.
If he's number one. I don't know, is it? How do you know that for a fact?
Pull. I'm going to say yeah.
I'm not going to fact check him, so I guess that's cool.
I'm going to say choo-choo. If choo-choo
he's the first choo-choo ever in the front.
Choo-choo ever. Yeah.
Yep. We need a caboose. Oh, I just figured that out. That's not a difficult one to figure out. All right. So Nick hits us. So in the beginning of the race, we're starting the race out. Nick hits Oscar.
Yeah.
Who cares? I mean, I know. That sentence was more than anyone needed to hear about that is Nick hits Oscar. Okay, keep going. I don't even need their last names. Yeah. Like, it's okay. Yeah. It doesn't affect the race whatsoever.
Do they need to go into the pits? I don't know.
Right, maybe.
Fine. Whatever. That'd be funny if they're like, should I box? Yeah, whenever.
So Nick hits Oscar, and like 3 seconds, maybe 10 seconds later, Sargeant goes out into the pits for the wing and tires. I'm like, wait a minute, where was he in all this? And again, who cares?
That's what I wanted to say was Nick DeVries hits Oscar Piastri and Logan Sargeant ends up in last place.
Right.
Seconds. It feels like one of those. What are those jokes called? That non-jokes or?
Yeah, I know what you mean. It seems like
anti-jokes.
Yes.
It's an anti-joke that Oscar hits Nick hits Oscar and Logan Sargeant ends up in last place.
Done. Yep. So Lewis Hamilton.
Sir Lewis, yes.
What's that?
Sir.
Oh,
Lewis
sorry.
Hamilton.
Sir Lewis Hamilton may not finish the race. Seems like the wind. Why am I constantly hearing about the wind? Did you hear that?
Yeah.
On his thing, he was talking about he may not be able to finish the race. And they're talking about it being the wind. I'm like, wait, like I still don't get this. Like, I could take my Jeep. out there, and it's a Gladiator. It's not wind resistant, and I guarantee you, I don't blow off the track. Like, I mean, I'm going to finish the race one way or another. I probably don't even have to change tires during it.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it might take you a little bit longer to finish the race.
Well, probably. Well, I'll still finish ahead of Sargeant.
Yeah.
So
you'd be towing him in.
That's true.
You'd be flashing him. You'd be in his rear mirror flashing him, be like, I need through.
So, and then right at that point, I thought to myself, I mean, other than Nick hitting Oscar, it really doesn't even need to be brought up. But like McLaren is they're poorly run. They had both of them pitted by lap 6. Both racers, both drivers pit by lap 6. How? Why? Because Nick hit him?
Well, they had some major upgrades at Baku, so I think you're forgetting that. They have major upgrades coming, and they're going to be a totally different car by Baku. So maybe you forgot that.
You did comment on how fast they were.
I know. I feel like an idiot. I feel like a moron.
So they've pitted by lap 6, right?
Right.
They pit. They get out. Sargeant's behind by 27 seconds. And I think that's the closest he was the whole race.
That dude.
What in the world is going on?
How soon did they lap him? Like, I feel like.
Well, there was that conversation. Somebody said, I think it was Russell, was like, they said, "Oh, you're so far behind," and he's like, "Wait, I'm not far behind Perez," and he's like, "No, behind." I don't remember who it was. It wasn't. They had already passed Sargeant, so it was. It might have been
a Haas, maybe.
Yeah, it was one of them, probably.
Yeah. So I thought it was when before the race, they asked Fernando Alonso, "When do you think Max Verstappen will catch you?" And he was like, "By lap 25," and Verstappen caught him at like lap 12 instead. But they could have asked Logan Sargeant, "When do you think Verstappen will lap you?" And he'd be like, 3.
I'm hoping to block him out, slow him down. Yeah. That might be the thing. Maybe they're paying him. They're all giving him extra money to be in the way up front.
And Williams isn't necessarily a good car, but Albon's not finishing like Sargeant is. It's not like they're running 19th and 20th.
But that's my point. Like there's something wrong here, and it's the same. So let's bring up Baby Boy. I was going to talk about this later, but I mean, does Baby Boy Stroll's daddy have to make a decision? Because you've got one guy who's finishing third almost consistently, and then you've got your son who is at anywhere. I mean, it's a good guess. Yeah. I mean, it was. He had fastest lap at one point. I almost fell out of my chair.
I know.
I mean, literally right after I wrote that down, he took over fastest lap. I'm like, how was that?
Yeah.
And
it lasted for half a lap.
But
his fastest lap.
You're in charge right now. Okay?
Yeah.
You're in charge of them. Are you going to drop him? What are you going to do? Are you going to... I mean, what are you going to do with your son? Your son is nowhere near.
Well, my son and Lance Stroll are different kind of guys, so
But your son is now Lance Stroll. You are Daddy Stroll, and you're in charge of Aston Martin. And I own Aston Martin, and I say, "What do we got going on?" Oh no, you're the owner. Never mind. I'm the principal, and I'm like, "Listen, man, I don't know what to do. Like." We could be getting better team points here if we have a second driver.
So am I Lawrence Stroll too, or am I just Lance Stroll as my son? Am I me with Lance Stroll as my son, or am I Lawrence Stroll?
You're Lawrence Stroll. Lance is your son. And Lance is your actual son. Well, let's be you. No, I actually want you to be you. Yes, you're you, and Lance is your son. I don't even know who's in charge over there, but I'm the principal, and I say, listen, Points are necessary. We need points. Clearly, we need points.
I agree.
I've got up there every time on a podium. I've got Fernando, and then I've got no points after that. We could be in contention for third. We could be beating Ferrari right now, Ferrari right now.
No, yeah.
What do we do? Mike, how do we go? What do you want to do going forward?
Do you have any suggestions for us? Like, I don't want to take this Logan Sargeant kid. That would be
a disaster. I'm not talking about this year. I'm talking about going forward. Next year, what are we going to do? Are we keeping this? I don't know whose contracts are coming up. So
name somebody. Who do you,
I don't know whose contracts are coming up.
Let me know. You think that Australian kid that's a backup driver for Red Bull? Do you think we want him?
Actually, you know what? I'd take him. He's a backup for Red Bull. I'll take anybody with Red Bull's name on it, including Yuki over Lance Stroll.
No, I wouldn't.
I know you wouldn't.
Yuki over Lance Stroll. You're fired. You're fired. You just got fired. That's what happened in this make-believe world.
So I'm fired, and your baby boy gets the seat still. Okay.
It's tough because I think I would give, honestly, if I was him, I would give Lance a couple more races. I would.
Well, I'm telling you,
give
him the rest of the year. Give him the rest of the year. You're not going to replace him during the year unless you're throwing away points if you replace him, unless you've got somebody in a backup position that's in decent shape, which I doubt you do. Otherwise, he'd be racing. But
I would set a target goal and say if he finishes with this, then we're good.
All right. So what's your points? Finishes with.
I would put it in a comparison to Fernando Alonso. If from this point on,
how about we say he's got to be in the top 8 racers for
that's fine.
8 races, 10 races this year.
No, he just got to finish in the top 8 of the racers.
In any race?
No, he just has to finish the year.
Oh, okay, I gotcha. Yes, that would be awesome to me, and I would accept that.
Even top 10.
If he's number 10, he's not that. He's not pushing you. You need to push to be the 3rd team right now. It's a wide open door for second. They could be pushing for second. There's a huge gap between Red Bull and everybody else, and Ferrari's just taking it with. By the way, go ahead.
Yeah, no, you go first.
When was the last time that Lewis Hamilton won a race?
2021.
December of 2021.
Yeah.
Man, that's got to be like.
Yeah. You know, my favorite, as long as we're sticking here with Aston Martin, I have one more thing to say about Aston Martin. My favorite race moment was when Fernando Alonso said, "How's Stroll doing?" And they were like, he's in 14th or whatever. And he said, "Nice maneuver on 2-1." And they're like, "How'd you see it?" And he's like, "The big screen." I thought that was incredible. Like, that was awesome.
He's on a Sunday stroll. Literally, no pun intended on that one. He's on a Sunday ride. Like, the guy has got, 20 seconds in front of him and 18 seconds behind him. There's nothing else for him to do. But, I mean, literally, he could have just gone out and gotten coffee like the guys in the front with no issue. Nobody's pressured.
Can you imagine what this race would have looked like if it's probably a really good thing that Verstappen didn't get pole, because if he had been on pole,
it wouldn't have been a race.
He would have been 40 seconds ahead of everybody, and then you would have Perez 40 seconds behind him, Fernando 20 seconds behind Perez, and then the rest of the group 13 seconds behind Fernando. Why is Verstappen so much faster than Perez?
I don't think he's so much faster than him. So once he got ahead, how much? Like, he didn't increase the gap by much.
He didn't have to at that point. Then he's just like, I'm on medium tires. I don't want him to blow out. I'm just gonna hold him up. I'm just not gonna let him get within striking distance.
Literally by lap 15, the race was Red Bull wins. Like, you knew Red Bull, one of the two was going to win. They were both in first and second place. You knew at that point it was over. And in fact, that's when they got Christian on the phone and said, "What's going to happen?" And he said with 3 laps. He said with 3 laps to go, Verstappen and Perez would be racing each other. But and I was happy that he was letting them compete, because that was great. And by the way, I don't know if you noticed at the end, but like, they were talking like best friends. So all that stuff about a fight and everything, I think they actually get along a lot better than I think this is media trying to create. And us, we were one of them, because I was one of them, at least. I was pushing the whole they're fighting. You were too.
I also think Perez knows. He knows when he's out there driving. He knows that Verstappen's shaving 2/10 or 3/10 of a second every single lap.
Yeah.
And so he didn't really. You know how none of those.
Perez had fastest lap while Verstappen was behind him. He kept it for a while.
But you know how when those drivers, when a Red Bull car's coming up, those drivers are just like.
And they absolutely do. Over. All of them talk about there's no sense in. But why is there no sense? What? You know what? Take them out. Take them out, because that's deducting points, which is another form of adding. Subtraction works as adding. I couldn't.
Perez almost did the same thing. When they went to race, Perez was almost like, I'm not racing this guy, he's faster than me. That's what I felt like when they, like there was no like little maneuver things. It was just all of a sudden Verstappen.
He actually did. No, he did a pretty good job defending through there. On the overpass, before the overpass, go back and watch the race. There was he did a good job of defending.
I'm gonna watch the whole thing for that. I might watch the very.
You just watch the end. Yeah, I mean it's like lap 8, I think, or 7. I didn't write down. Well, maybe I did. No, I don't think I did.
Yeah.
So yeah, but No, go ahead.
No, I just that's something I want to talk about. Is I feel like they're just a lot faster. And the other thing I want to say is Mercedes is getting worse, but so is Ferrari. So it doesn't really matter.
That's my point exactly. Both of them are falling apart. So like this is where that's what brought up my point about Aston Martin. Like the door is wide open. All we have to do is get a driver who can race and like a second driver who is in mid-range, and we're there.
I'm also so sick of Lewis Hamilton blaming everybody all the time.
Who?
Lewis Hamilton.
Oh, yeah, I know.
He blames his team. He blames the car. He blames whatever he can blame. He's blaming.
Real quick, did you hear when Max was talking to his pit? I call him pit boss for lack of a better word, but he was telling him, what's that?
Race engineer.
Yeah. Well, they got back on with him and said, they're like, Max, you focus on driving, and we'll check on the front wing, like the front wing settings. Like usually it's the other way around. Max is like, hey, shut up. You know what? Stop talking to me. These guys are like, listen, you just focus on your job. I got my job. I just thought it was funny.
Yeah.
But is it weird now? Back to your last point. Is it weird? It's more difficult to find a good team. It's easier to find a bad team than it is to find a good team. Like, I can name all kinds of terrible teams. Name 3 good teams right now. Name 2 good teams. You know what? Take out Red Bull and name 1 good team.
I think Aston Martin's a good team.
How far away are they in the points?
I mean...
They're half of a good team. They're not a good team. They're a good driver.
Yeah.
They should be in second place right now. Yeah. If they were a good team, they'd be in second. You don't have to be a great team to be in second place. You have to be a good team to be in second place.
You know who else I would say is a good team? Except for
both drivers?
Except they have the worst driver on the grid is Williams. I think that they've improved a lot. But Logan Sargeant is terrible.
Albon isn't all that great of a driver either.
No, but Haas is starting to improve too.
Haas is starting to improve. They're getting better and better. It's actually getting a little exciting with them because they, if I'm giving out awards, because we have to now for everybody, I'm giving Haas most improved. Like, I feel like they're starting to click, and eventually they're going to get there.
So we should have an award show where we give an award for each right before summer break, before they go on summer's break at mid-season. We'll have our awards show. We'll give an award to each team.
I am in. All right. It's because we have to do that today.
Yeah.
I'm in. Yeah. So I find it crazy, though, that it's easier to find bad teams than it is to find good teams. It's bugging me a lot.
Yeah. So speaking of awards, are we giving any awards?
Well, we're going to give the Blown Head Award. Are you jumping on that already? We can. I don't care.
I don't know.
I mean, we're giving stuff out, so yeah. I mean...
I want to nominate Checo.
I want to nominate Logan Sargeant. Because by the end of the race, he was a cool minute behind the leader.
Yeah, it's terrible. I would like to nominate Checo because if you flip the roles, Max would not have lost to Checo. Max started.
What's that?
What place did Max start in?
Max started in 9.
Yeah, and he caught him and passed him.
I'm gonna argue that one because he passed everybody.
Checo would have started in 9th? You think Checo would have started in 9th, caught Max Verstappen and passed him?
You know what? Checo started in the pits the one race, and he managed to get points and decent points. He got decent points.
Max Verstappen.
No, nobody's passing Max Verstappen. Let's get past that. Nobody is passing him. They even said during the race, Max Verstappen is getting instruction from his team, getting information on him versus Checo. And Checo is not. Checo's radio is dead silent. Now, I don't know. Maybe that's what Checo prefers because we know he's not I bumped this. Please give me an update. But I don't know. To me, that's where I'm at. I feel.
So you know all this stuff about how one team prefers this driver and they want to make this driver better than the other? That reminds me of the guy who played football in high school and would have gone pro if the coach had ever put him in. But then you play catch with him and you're like, dude, you can't even throw a football 5 yards. Or the guy who you're playing baseball. If the coach hadn't hated me, I made you leave. That's what this reminds me of. The coach, they're out there to score points to win. They're not going to be like, well, we like Max because he shows up to class.
Right.
So, and his parents are they brought us brownies. So we're going to work hard for him, but we're going to screw you over, Checo, so Max looks even better. That's not how sports works.
I'm not saying it is. I'm not saying that. But I am saying if you're going to put Checo there, you got to put the 8 drivers behind him there. Leclerc, where was Leclerc? Right. Leclerc wasn't even. He didn't. I don't even know if he scored points. No, I think he.
Different.
No, Leclerc.
Okay, I'm going to nominate Leclerc. I want to nominate Leclerc.
Okay, but I accept Leclerc.
The difference is Checo's in the same car as Max Verstappen. He had pole position. He should hold on to pole position and win. When the guy with your same car, the only competition you've got in this whole race, the only competition is in 9th, and you let him pass you.
So one starts on medium tires, and one starts on hard tires. But they talked about it. Listen, I'm not a tire expert, but if I were them, I would put Michelin's on them. But anyways, they talked about it during the race, and they said that medium tires, by everyone's speculation, was the way to go unless you were in the back half. But because of getting the fast start, the medium tires were better for getting a fast start, a quick start off the gun, which you need, especially if you're in the pole, especially if you're in pole position because you want to keep that spot. But Max Verstappen's in the middle, so I'm talking about the front guys.
Listen,
they're not the guys at 9th. You're not expecting to jet ahead of everyone right from there.
But also, I've watched Max Verstappen race in 3.5 years. I think the difference between him and Checo is he would have still said, put me on the hard tires and then I'll switch to the mediums. Because
I wish we could.
Because I don't care if the guy takes pole position from me because I know my car is 3 times faster than his and I'm going to pass him anyway.
Wait, what?
If he would have.
You know his car is 3 times faster than his?
Than Alonso's?
Oh, Alonso. I'm sorry. Yes.
Yeah. Yes, I know his car.
Alonso's car's not slow. I mean, it's just 20 seconds behind everyone else, or behind Red Bull. But
that's what I'm saying. Pole position with these cars, you don't have to grab because they're so much faster. You don't have to hold on to that pole position. It's not like life or death in the first race like it is for some other cars because your car's so much faster. So anyway, that's why I wouldn't put him in. If Checo had been driving a Ferrari and Max passed him, I wouldn't.
Leclerc was driving a Ferrari, which, by the way, a Ferrari is a pretty damn nice car and always up there.
Yeah.
Forget about Mercedes, who is always up there, but
Leclerc was terrible as well.
All right.
So my
all right. So let's get this done. Yep.
And one more I have to nominate: the Orange team. I don't even want to say their name. The Orange guys. The whole team. They suck.
They're
those three.
You know what? Yes, I agree. All right, so let's go.
But I would agree with yours of Sargeant because he was the worst driver I've ever seen.
At the end of the race, Sargeant was 44 seconds behind Alexander Albon. Like 44 seconds behind his teammate, who is terrible.
Yeah.
That is terrible. And I like Logan Sargeant is the kid you want to cheer for, but you just can't. He's the little kid in football who, Coach, I want to do it. I want to play. And I've coached this kid, and I'd be like, okay, you can go in here, and I'd put him in at free safety and just let him kind of whatever, and I hope everyone works around him, and everything's great. But what happens is, then his parents come over, and they're like, look, he really wants to go, and I'm like, he's going to get killed. And they say, we know this, and we're okay with it. He really wants it. So I say, listen, I'm coaching youth. I'm good with it. If you're good with it, if we have a problem, you're okay with it, cool. So I put him out there, and the kid runs the wrong way with the ball. You want to cheer for the kid. that's Logan for me. He's the little kid that I had to put out there.
Where do you think Logan Sargeant would have, if he had started in pole position if he had started in Sergio Perez's car?
What if they gave him a 1-lap handicap?
He would still get.
He still wouldn't finish first, right? He would have been passed by several drivers because at one point Russell was
seriously. If you put him in
pole position,
if he had started pole position in Sergio Perez's car,
he would have been in an accident. There's no way. All that traffic passing him, there's no way. He would be in an accident. I think he's back there.
No.
I don't know if he knows how to be passed.
He gets a Red Bull. He's not in a Williams. He gets a Red Bull and he's in pole position.
Doesn't change the fact I think he doesn't know how to pass. I bet you that car doesn't do over in miles per hour. I bet you it doesn't do over 156.
I think he would end up on the podium, but I think.
Oh, come on! You think he'd be on the podium? Really?
If he starts in pole position.
Really? You think he's going to keep 3 places? Leclerc didn't keep his 3rd place.
But he's not in a Red Bull. There's a big difference between being in a Red Bull and being in a Ferrari. Right?
Does that sound weird? There is a big difference between having a Honda for an engine and having a Ferrari engine. And we're arguing that the Honda is better. That sickens me. And I'm sorry to all the people that love Hondas, but that bugs me.
But you know what's weird? Is you know who else has that Honda engine?
Who?
AlphaTauri, and their cars aren't very. They have the exact same engine.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Yep.
The exact same engine. So it's more than just the engine. You know, like it's car design. It's all of that.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure it is, but it's
not just the power unit.
All right, so let's move on because we got a lot. We're still. Yes, I mean, we're not even. No, that's fine. I don't mind at all. But so Baby Boy Stroll is asking for updates in the race, and how's it looking? What's our pace? Now, you're the pit chief. How do you respond to that?
Slow. Not good.
It's looking terrible. Shut up. Push the pedal to the right and hold it down hard. Like, what are you asking me for? Do you see the people passing you? It's bad. And he's not a terrible driver, but if I should be in 2nd place as a team, and I'm what are they, 5th maybe? I mean, they're behind Ferrari, they're behind Mercedes, so maybe they're 4th. They should be in 2nd. I don't know, that's just my opinion.
I think they are.
They're in 2nd? No, they're not in 2nd. I bet you Ferrari's ahead of them. I haven't looked, to be honest with you, but I'm betting that they aren't. And then last week you had mentioned, we were talking about names, our nicknames, or not our nicknames, our team comparisons, and you said Sainz is the Saints. Like, nobody's ever talking about him. There's never anything interesting about him. And the commentator said, Saints and Alonso are good friends. They're always exciting to watch. And I just sat there, I'm like, I have to bring this up. They're always exciting to watch. I'm like, I wonder if Jonathan's watching right now. Go ahead. So they're where?
Real quick, Aston Martin.
They're 2nd?
Yeah, they're 6 points ahead of Mercedes and 24 points ahead of Ferrari.
Really? How many points do they have?
Yeah. 102.
Huh. So it's safe.
Inside 96. Huh.
I stand corrected.
So signs. Is he exciting for you to watch?
No. They didn't even put it on the screen at the time. They just talked about it. I'm like...
He's always exciting to watch. Why? What about him is there's nothing exciting about him. Nothing.
And then
he could be from 1970 or 1990 or 2023 or 1920. Like, he just has that look of just...
Yes.
And I don't want to use the word timeless because that would be a positive. He just has like a very nondescript...
A very common look.
Yes. Common look. Very common. And he drives common. Everything about him is common.
How about Alexander Albon saying, "I'm pushing too much. It's not good for the tires. I disagree with this."
Yeah, I know.
What do you say to that?
Shut up and drive.
Right.
Shut up and drive.
This is why you're currently in 16th position. Listen to me, get rid of your own opinion, and start driving.
I disagree with this. I just want to go on record.
I disagree with this. I should be way in the back. I should be pushing for 20th right now.
I like for Sargeant. He seems comfortable. His tires are going to make it. He's not pushing his tires.
He's not even wearing a helmet. He got tires lap 2 or lap 1. He got tires lap 1. So
if at some point Sargeant tries to get in his car and he doesn't have his helmet on, and they're like, "Dude, you got a helmet on." He's like, "Oh yeah." I mean, that's
honestly, I would be surprised if I would be less surprised if they said, "Don't bother. You don't need it. You're fine. You're not going fast enough anyways. Like, it's fine."
You don't need the halo. Like,
right.
you gotta be going over 80 so you need this thing.
All right, so lap 33. Hamilton lets Russell pass. Russell sends out a thank you to him. Like, how nice. Like, those two are getting along now.
Ding, ding,
I
ding,
think
ding.
it's us. I think we're helping.
Can I give a nickname now?
Yeah, you can give a nickname now. Yeah. Go ahead. Knock yourself out.
Okay. It's my turn, right? Your turn was last.
It is your turn, correct. Yes, your turn is now.
Yours was Baby Boy, right?
Mine was Baby Boy. Yep, Baby Boy Stroll.
Yeah. And mine was Choo Choo before that.
Yep.
And yours was...
I don't remember. I'll put them up on the screen.
Okay. Flash.
No, Flash was the very first one. Go ahead, carry on. Okay. I did one for Perez. Not Perez, for... It doesn't matter.
Perez already has...
No, I did it for...
Gentleman George.
Okay. Well, look at it. It works right with that. It's perfect.
Yeah.
What made you come up with it?
He seems like a gentleman.
He does. Right? Yeah. Yeah, he does.
Yeah. I feel like if we...
He went out and held the door open for Lewis while he got into his car.
That's what I was going to say. If we went on a double date, you would be the guy that was for his girlfriend. You know,
yes.
Helps her out.
And you'd be like, "Hey, could you get my wife's too?"
Yeah.
As long as you're over on that side of the car, would you mind just...
Yeah.
Somehow, yeah. All right,
Gentleman George.
I like it. Gentleman George it is. So I'm going to have to pop those up here with,
okay.
Well, I'll even put Gentleman George. Yeah. Everyone will know what it was because I'll have put it up there already. Just saying. So, all right, so Leclerc. They talked about how Leclerc managed his tires brilliantly, didn't he? I mean, did he? Like, he went...
I mean, if you don't...
He ended up in, what, 7th place by the end or farther back? Like,
yeah.
Did he really manage his tires brilliantly? I don't know. Maybe he did. Yeah. But I just kind of feel like racing for 7th place isn't where I'm... That's not my goal in a race. It is if I'm like Sargeant, that's my goal. Hey, Sargeant, listen, I need you to get up to 7th. But he's not. He's driving a Ferrari. I think I'm most disappointed in Ferrari because of the name. And you mentioned last week that, like, you're now like Aston Martin Alfa Romeo. Every time you see an Alfa Romeo, you're like, it doesn't work for you anymore. You've lost respect. They can't park in your driveway. I'm kind of feeling that way about Ferrari, except I have 0 friends that drive a Ferrari. But I'm kind of going to be like, you know what? I'm going to get in that Volkswagen Beetle and race you. Like,
yeah.
Or the Honda Civic, I guess, probably. I mean, see what I did there? Because it's Honda.
I know what you did. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really matter. Like, I feel like you could take your lawnmower.
Yeah, you know what? I might.
Yeah, John Deere. to the John Deere team.
That would be awesome.
John Deere.
Big tires and you roll over them. You start rolling over everybody as you start.
Just put it in reverse.
All right. So yeah, no, I mean, it was just kind of like, it was weird. I don't know. I'm bothered by the fact that Ferrari is where they are. It bugs me. It actually angers me.
Yeah.
I feel like I have to race this entire podcast where I say that what's the name should be in second place this whole time. The door's wide open. They're already in it, but it's disappointing because I wouldn't have figured they were.
That's okay. You can be disappointed.
I'm disappointed in myself right now.
No, I've been disappointed in you since you started saying that.
Oh, well, you've been disappointed in me since we met, but I get it. I mean, whatever. So, name your worst team. Give me your 4 worst teams right now.
Williams.
Yep, that's mine.
McLaren.
I have them on there.
The Alfa Romeo.
Okay. I have.
And wait.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yep, I'm sorry.
And the 4th one would be AlphaTauri.
Oh, I went Alpine. So I went Williams, McLaren, Alpine, and Alfa Romeo. But it's easier. Now name your top 4.
Red Bull, Aston Martin, Mercedes, Ferrari.
But how good are Mercedes and Ferrari? Do you think they're... I mean, seriously, who's taking 3rd?
Mercedes.
Yeah. Depressing. So, and then I had a... so, I'm doing the football team.
And then all that's left, right, is Haas and Alpine for me. And for you, it's Haas and...
Yep, AlphaTauri. Yeah.
You love AlphaTauri.
You know what I love? Yuki.
You love AlphaTauri.
Yuki. Yuki's it, though. All right, so I'm doing the team to the driver to a football team, but I'm going to do a team to a team because it's very similar. I do think that Williams is the Detroit Lions. Once upon a time ago, Williams was a big name in racing. And now they're the Detroit Lions. Yeah. Once upon a time ago, Detroit Lions were a big team in the NFL. Now they're Williams Racing. They're the exact. They are each other. Exactly each other. Yeah. Doesn't matter. They can have the ability to do whatever. We got the salary cap in. They still can't make it work. So, disappointed.
I would compare Logan Sargeant to a quarterback, and I would compare him to Malik Willis. Remember the Tennessee Titans?
Yep. I was going to say, I would say Peterson. You remember the guy who could not even throw the ball up in Buffalo? He filled in. Yeah. Peterson, I think, was his last
Malik Willis was a rookie, and they were kind of excited.
Yep. No, I remember.
He's going to get to play. He's going to get to play this week.
And it was terrible. Yeah. Yep. So, yeah, that's it. But, if people like it, I hope they're willing to give us their comments and tell us who their favorite team is, who the worst team is, and any observations they had. But otherwise, it was good talking to you again, and we'll talk again next week.
Thank you again for listening to this Four Winds Media podcast. Please stop by our website at Four Winds Media and check out all of our podcasts. They can be listened to wherever you stream your favorite podcast. If you'd like to share your thoughts, feel free to put your comments down below and like and subscribe to us. We hope to see you here again soon.